and welcome to the Get at Gaming Plus podcast, your one-stop shop for everything geeky, nerdy, anime, whatever we like to talk about. If you like those things, consider going over to youtube.com/, Get at Gaming. Yeah, Get at Gaming. I had to think. I almost said like so many other YouTubes. I was like, youtube.com/, that's not our place. Because I'm used to listening to other podcasts. Um, or you can go to any sort of podcast service and try to find us. We are now on iHeartRadio. Is that right? Right?
We are. We
Yes.
are. All of our episodes are there.
Yeah. So if you prefer iHeartRadio, go ahead and go over there and rate us and heart us and radio us. I don't know what you do over there, but whatever is the cool stuff that helps us in algorithms, I would appreciate if you could do that over there if you so desire. If you don't, it's totally fine. But again, this is Gay Gaming Plus podcast. I am Alex.
I'm Ben.
And again, we like to talk about all this kind of stuff. I forgo the introductions because I got right into the YouTube that I almost said like 20 other YouTubes that aren't us, and they like weren't even like podcast YouTubes. It's just like, oh yeah, youtube.com/Nintendo. That's where you can find us probably. But anyway, this week we have some stuff to talk about here. We have PlayStation news. PlayStation buying some studios again. Some PS5 price news, and then also some Assassin's Creed leaks that happened recently and kind of got confirmation by someone. But before we do all of that, what we like to do in the beginning of the show, we talk about what we've been playing or hidden trophies. So things that we buy, and we try to justify buying them by talking about them on the show. And we don't write them off since we don't get money from this. But if we do eventually, then we could write off these games. So, or things. So anyway, Ben, I want you to go first. What you been playing, or would you buy? What you saw?
Last week I talked about the Saints Row special edition I got.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing a lot of that. I've popped into a couple of glitches. One where their arms are just going crazy mad all over the place. Other than that, though, the game's been fun. I've gotten over the voice work, and I think if they can fix these glitches, it's actually not a bad game. It's a lot harder than the other ones, I will tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been pretty fun. I'm about 6 hours in. I'm actually enjoying just doing like the little small side things like picture taking, making fast travels, getting the certain cars for the garages. There's a wanted list, and I've done everybody on the wanted list so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice and open because you can literally go through the whole map in one sitting. Like, they don't have things locked off. You just go.
Okay.
So that's nice. And I think there's boats this time. I don't remember there being boats last time. I don't remember. But yeah, I'm actually enjoying it so far.
Okay.
I think it's really great. But one I got today that Alex and I talked about, I'll hold it to the camera, is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection, which came out. We're recording on Tuesday, so it just came out. This is wow. I only got to play one Game Boy game, and Alex was like, "You got to go to the turtle lair because you could see all this cool stuff." And he wasn't kidding. They had pictures from the TV show. They have all the original box art, whether it be America or Japan. They've got comic covers. They've got little tidbits. They got behind the scenes. It's so much stuff.
Yeah.
And 13 games on here. Some of the games are like really expensive if you want the actual cart now. So that's really cool. I've literally spent like 20 minutes playing with it today, but hopefully getting more there. And then Alex, you even said you looked at the trophy list for PS5. It's not unattainable.
As long as the Tournament Fighters games are not that hard. Because the trophy list for PlayStation is to just beat it, beat every game. That's it. Just finish them. And you can do anything to that. Like, you can get unlimited tokens. You could probably do God mode. You can do whatever you want. As long as you finish the game, it sounds like it's going to allow you to get the trophy for each game.
Is there a platinum?
Yeah, there is a platinum.
Yeah. So far, I spent about an hour looking at it, but about playing for about 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I went through all the stuff that Alex was talking about. I got it for PS5.
Yep.
They make it for Switch, PS4, PC, I think.
Xbox. Yep.
Yep, it's everything. And this is only $40. So I think for the price, not bad. And like I said, just the fact to play the old Game Boy games to me was worth the money.
Yeah. So, yeah, for sure. Like, there are a ton of games in there, and then also if you take into account of each one has a Japanese version as well, with minor differences probably, but it's still a different game. Like, that's a really good price for all of those games. Like, I expected this to be a $60 thing or more.
Even the NES version for the Tournament Fighters,
yeah,
that's a $200-300 game right now. Easily.
I wonder if those prices are going to go down now because this is out, and how much.
You know what? I'm curious. Now I want to look. I doubt it.
I don't think it's gone down yet necessarily,
No.
but like, I feel like whenever there are things like this, like the Mega Man X Legacy Collection thing, when those happened, or the Mega Man Legacy collections, for a while, all the Mega Man games got really cheap, or cheaper than they would have been. And then they kind of went back up at a certain point. But initially, when these games come out, the price does decrease for the physical ones.
Yeah. Well, it actually went down. So loose price right now is $214.
Okay.
If you have complete in box, $1,000. Graded is $14,000. Wow.
I don't trust any grading system anymore.
No, and graded games are going down in price. I actually saw a couple of Whatnot auctions, Alex, where they were just doing graded games, and some of them were going for like $50-$60. In retrospect, it cost you more money to grade it than it actually is sold for.
Yeah, I saw someone try to sell a graded game. I might have talked about it on the show before. It was a graded Pokemon game that was fake. Like, it was a fake box art and everything, and it was a ROM hack. But it had stuff printed out for it and everything, and they graded this fake video game. And I think it was one of the big ones. I think it was like WADA or whatever. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you one, waste someone's money and waste someone's time for that? But like, two, also put that on the market so that now people might think it's something rare and try to, I don't know, scam someone with it.
You know, as a collector, that's my biggest fear of buying anything that's over $50. Now I've got a game that's almost $300 game.
Yeah.
But I bought it when it was all low. And so I would be nervous to try and buy that game now at that price.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I feel bad for Pokemon collectors. I feel like they are got to be constantly looking for that to make sure they don't get fakes.
Yeah, for sure. I know our local place still has Dot Hack because it's not selling because it's the eBay prices.
Yeah.
It's over $300.
To give you an example, July 20th, one of the tournament fighters, no box, no, wait. Oh, it's in box, but no manual, right? $500. but there's not been one sold since. There's one for $1,200, but it's complete in box.
Wow.
So, I mean, hopefully the game's drop in price. Where Alex and I shop at, there's been a Swamp Thing there for I don't even know how long.
Too
At
long.
$2.99 for NES.
At this point, you need to try to haggle with them and be like, "Hey, this has been on the shelf for a long time. How much can I reasonably do to get this thing off your shoulders?"
No one likes me to barter or to negotiate because I go for the lowest.
Yeah.
I would be like $50, and they'd be like, "Get out."
Yeah.
I would love to own Swamp Thing. It was a horrible game,
Mm-hmm.
horrible game. But to have that in my collection would be awesome.
Yeah.
But they're way overpriced. Like, I think they had it at one point it was $2.99 is what they had it at. Price charting has it at $198. You know, and that's I wouldn't buy this game without holding and touching it. I will
Yeah.
tell you that. But yeah, a lot of these games on this compilation are hard to get, or to even play them, you got to have the proper equipment. You
Yep.
know, the Game Boy games, you have the Game Boy, and then no one wants to play that on Game Boy. I'll be honest.
Not unless you get my analog thing when that ever shows up this year.
Yes,
That's gonna show up when I'm gone. I'm gonna be so sad.
Well, I don't know. Hyperlink did one. We talked about it on the podcast a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
They did a Game Boy player, but Metal Jesus did not give it a good review.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be Game Boy Advance.
Well, because that was an emulation thing. This thing, the analog, is the emulating the hardware. So everyone loves this thing. It's just that I was put in the second group, the Q4 B group. So it's showing up sometime. It's probably gonna show up in December, like I said, when I'm gone.
Well,
but
I bet you get it before I get my limited run.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I've been waiting. Well, how long have you been waiting for your limited run? I've been waiting since January for this, like early January.
I think about the Battletoad Double Dragon in April, and I just bought the other one that I showed you today. I just bought it in August. So,
okay. Actually, wait, no, I did this in December. Yeah, I did this in December of last year because I was out of town. So
it will be about, if it comes in December, it'll be about the same time your Scott Pilgrim took to get there.
That's true. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I'm excited for this because then I can play all my Game Boy games because I do have quite a few, and then I can collect Game Boy games again and actually play them.
I will tell you that if you were going to play any retro, analog is the way to go.
Yep.
I don't own one. I own the Hyperlink one for my NES,
mm-hmm.
but I've seen people play on the analog, and it's so much better.
Yep.
Like 10 times better.
Yep.
So
it's a premium product, but if you collect, it's unless you really want to go old school with older TVs and stuff, you should get the analogs instead. Is there anything else you've been playing at all?
Nope. I mean, my time has been really limited these last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I do try to play Saints Row every other night. So
okay, cool. What I've been playing, I don't remember if I did this last week or not. I beat Die Hack GU Part 1 at some point. I don't remember, again, if that was last week or not. So I don't know if I talked about it. But yeah, I beat the first one on Switch, and now I guess I'll go to Part 2. I've just been playing these on my own, like in bed. Just because it's, I don't know, it's a grindy PS2 game. So I don't really want to go on to streaming these just yet, because then that's another huge commitment that I have to do. Unless I somehow found these on PS2 again, because I don't own them on PS2. I own GU2 Japanese, but I'm not playing in Japanese, first of all, because I wouldn't understand it. But yeah, unless I found the 3 on PS2, then I probably won't stream it anytime soon. Maybe the maybe the PS4 version or something. I'll put on here and try that out. But the platinum is ridiculous, and that's what made me quit it originally. So it because there's just a lot of missable trophies if you go too far into the story for part two, and you just can't go back to previous parts and do that since that's not how the games are designed. Um,
I would think that that would be hard to do, you know.
yeah, I know some people who have it, but like still, it's I don't know. Personally, for me, I don't find it worth it. Playing GU again, though, like it's a fine game. I think it's pretty good. It's probably better than the original Dot Hack, in terms of gameplay and stuff. But in terms of story, there's a lot of long cutscenes and just a lot of dialogue and bad dialogue. Like very much, I don't know. Like when stuff happened, the game wouldn't tell you what to do necessarily. In the previous one, like you would get a flash saying like you have email instead of like the end of each little cutscene. Like the main character Haseo will be like, maybe I should go check my email or something, and then the cutscene ends, and then the thing flashes email. It's like just you didn't need to do that. Like why are you saying that each time? It's just very annoying.
And just for the record, I do own a dot hack game.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
do.
right. You do own that. Yeah, you own the GU
I bought it
last
for
recode.
PS4. I should have bought it for Switch.
Well, you can only buy it on Switch digitally unless you got to the website like me.
Oh yeah, I definitely did. I bought it on PS4 because I was like,
It's
oh,
cheap.
this is a yeah. It was. I think I paid like $13.
Yeah.
So not bad.
Yeah, it's always on sale online as well on a lot of that kind of stuff, so you might find it there. Um Otherwise, I have finished reading and playing, I guess technically reading uh Kingdom Hearts Union Cross finally. The first mobile game, or I guess second mobile game. Uh and that was an interesting read. It's really hard to read it on the mobile game itself because it's out of order, so you have to like get like a watch list or find it on YouTube and just watch it that way. I ended up watching it by like choosing like looking at a guide and then just choosing the important ones because someone made it online like on Reddit or something. And so that's how I watched and listened to that and read that. And I enjoyed it. Um I enjoyed mostly the second half of stuff, which is where it goes into um a lot of character development and plot heavy stuff and explaining things for other Kingdom Hearts games. Um like there's just a lot of things, and there's also explanations for the next like mobile game as well, because at the end of Union Cross, one of the characters shows up in that town from the new mobile game that's coming out eventually. Um, so there's that, and then there's Dark Road, which is on the other side of it, which is a telling of young Xehanort, and his journey with young Ericus, and them. So like them like uh at their old like place like Scala Kylum or whatever. Like that whole place that was in like 3 briefly. Um, you are there as a student for Keyblades and Keyblade wielding and stuff, and you're on a journey. And so I didn't realize that it wasn't just cutscenes; it was an actual game on that end, and the game is trash. Like it is grindy and not worth it. It is it it tries to be Chain of Memories a little bit and tries to be other mobile games where you have to choose like 3 attacks and then it goes, and if you chain the same color attacks then you do better and fight better. But the game is based around just endlessly grinding for materials and then leveling up or getting new weapons, and you have to eventually, in order to level up, you need to use certain materials that are also your currency for buying new attacks. So you have to figure out like, oh, do you want to buy attacks or do you want to level up? And I think I only got to like level 10 or something. I wasn't even that far. I was still on chapter 1 or 2 maybe at that point. So I was playing that for a couple of days and then I decided, I'm done. And now I've been watching it on YouTube, the cutscenes instead. Someone just uploaded all the cutscenes because the latest Dark Road last episode or whatever came out last week. So that's why I wanted to catch up on this, because there are probably a lot of reveals and things. And with TGS coming up pretty soon, Tokyo Game Show, in the next week or so, I expect to maybe see something Kingdom Hearts. So whether that's the mobile game or 4, it's probably more of the mobile game. I will at least be finally all caught up with Kingdom Hearts, and I will still understand nothing. So at that point, because like I was understanding everything, and like even at the end of Union Cross, I was like, okay, I get a lot of this stuff. I don't understand quite everything, but like I understand how we got to here and what's happening more or less. And then they did this reveal where one of the characters like takes off his hood. I was like, oh, he looks like that guy. But is he that guy? Is he his brother? Like we never established, is he the same person? I don't know. Um so I don't there's just so many questions. And then this new one with Dark Road, it's creating more and more questions for me as well. And man, I'm in. I'm ready. I'm ready to see what's happening, because the old Keyblade people, like the Keyblade War and all this other stuff, is very interesting. It's sad that they're only tackling it within mobile games, because they're I feel like they could be good games potentially, or at least just movies or something to do with that effect, or honestly just an actual books. And they have done that. There have been adaptations of that, but um, yeah, it it's disheartening because I hate the gameplay for both of the games, but it's cool because I'm getting more Kingdom Hearts lore that I never knew I wanted. So yeah, it's a overall I'd say it's a fun time. So by next week I will probably be done with it. Honestly, I'll probably be done with it tonight. Because if you go to YouTube for Dark Road, it's only about 4 hours long, the video. And I've been skipping because there's certain points where it's just like, oh, we're just doing dialogue for Beast World, or we're just doing dialogue for Alice in Wonderland. So I just like keep skipping like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or whatever until they start talking about like the main plot, and I'm like, all right, cool. Now we're gonna listen to this stuff again. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts is cool. Otherwise, what did I stream? Oh, I played I'm gonna make someone mad. I don't know if it was because I was sick or what. I did not enjoy my first experience with Klonoa for the PS1. I was playing a PlayStation Classic version of it on the PS3 download, and it was just a bad platformer. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna get a text message on Thursday when this happens, but it was not good. I don't like how janky it is and how slippery it is. I don't like the controls. Um, I don't like there are levels, like so like it does like 1-1, 1-2 or whatever, but then there are things that you can miss, but there's no world map, so you're just screwed if you just accidentally go a wrong way. And so you can't get a perfect, or maybe I don't know if it actually matters, but like for me, like it's a platformer. I want to try to get all of the things that I can, and I can't go back. Like this is annoying. Unless they fix it in the remake, I'm not sure. But again, I'm playing the classic version, so like the original PS1 version of Klonoa, and I wasn't feeling great when I was streaming that. But also, I think that game is not good. Um, and so I'm sorry. I will probably never be streaming it again unless someone pays me to do it.
You know,
Yep.
you, you hear about that being like the top game. Like everybody
Maybe
wants.
people like Klonoa 2 or something, because like Klonoa 2 was a PS2 game, and maybe that was a little more streamlined, or maybe it's just the nostalgia goggles and all that, because like sure, there are certain games that I really enjoy still that aren't great, but I enjoy them because I played them as a kid. Whereas someone coming into this without ever playing it before, I was like, I don't understand the hype at all for this. It is not a great game. And I know there's the new remake, and then there's a Wii version that I guess wasn't as good. But yeah, I was playing the PS1 version, and I did not like it. So I'm sorry.
It's funny. I was looking it up, and um, they do have a new version coming out. It looks like it's just updated graphics and stuff.
Yeah, it's already out. It's 1 and 2. It's updated graphics, and I think it's tighter a little bit, but it is a Bandai Namco remake, essentially. And
I
that's
mean,
kind of why I wanted to try this, the original first, and see if I would enjoy a remake, maybe.
I will tell you, playing some of the original PlayStation 1, because I have the PlayStation Premium, right?
Mm-hmm.
Playing some of those games now, you just sit there and like, oh God, this is awful. These controls are awful.
Yeah.
So I don't blame you on that. You will probably get more than one text.
Yeah,
Because you
probably.
said that.
Probably. It's fine. You know what? I will just buy Ape Escape, I guess. I'll play Ape Escape instead, because that's a better PS1 game. Ape Escape 2, though, is really good. I love that. The only thing that I have from Hidden Trophies is this that I forgot that I ordered, and it came in the mail. So, I have Detective Conan Lupin the Third versus Detective Conan the movie. I already own this on DVD, but Discotech did a Blu-ray release, and it comes with a dub with their new dub cast. Um, so yeah, I don't. If I remember correctly, I didn't really enjoy this movie, but I enjoyed the special, because like the TV special happens first and then the movie. But for some reason, they released it movie first and then TV special. I don't know why. Um, but it's still cool to have stuff on Blu-ray. It has newer translations and stuff too. They were the previous people who released it back in like 2000, probably 2010, 2011. Um, so they've learned how to translate better, I guess, by now, because that's what they've been doing. They've been just re-releasing a bunch of their old movies and doing a better translation and putting them all on Blu-ray instead. So
You actually sent me that way at one point too, because I was looking for some older stuff, and they seem to re-release older cartoons for some reason.
yeah, yeah, like they have Street Sharks. They have I have Sonic the Hedgehog, the original Sonic the Hedgehog, the goofier one, the better one in my opinion at this point.
My kids were watching that the other day on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
the Japanese-ish version
Oh,
with all
Sonic X, yeah.
uh, because they finally got to watch Sonic 2, because now that it's on Amazon, they got to watch it. I think they've watched it like 6 times. But you know, I think that company that you buy that stuff from though is really awesome, because they are re-releasing stuff that's no longer in print. Or
Mm-hmm.
there was a Mega Man on there. I think you told me about the Mega Man cartoon was on there.
Yep, they released it on DVD a long time ago, and they're still printing it.
That's crazy to do that. So I do need to go on their website and see, but I'm afraid to spend money.
Well, that
So
website in particular, like it's not necessarily their website, but that was Right Stuff, and we had a news story a while back where Crunchyroll bought that. So I don't know how some of that stuff is going to be affected for newer purchases or what, but just kind of FYI, if you're going to buy on Right Stuff, you might not see your stuff for a while. I don't know. Um, But
I mean, I bought stuff on PlayAsia, so
that's true. I mean, I did too. That was Colin Moriarty's game. I still haven't opened it. It's sealed.
I
So
remember because the game had come out, and I was like, I still there's it says it was shipped, and there's no nothing.
because it's on a ship, like it was being imported. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's on my shelf. It's unopened.
So my Colin game was I bought it digitally and then I bought the physical version. I bought the Vita version actually because I was like, it's my last Vita game. And I don't even know where my Vita. Oh no, there's my Vita. Wait, that's not my Vita. That's just the Vita case. I don't know where my Vita is. Anyway, it's probably collecting dust somewhere. But you know what else isn't collecting dust? PlayStation 5s, hopefully. I don't know, mine might be a little bit. I don't use it that much until recently. For the first news story, if I click the thing correctly, there we go. PlayStation 5 is getting a price increase in Europe, Canada, Mexico, Asia, and Australia. Um, so it's weird. This is by Rebecca Valentine. So PlayStation Blog announced that it's going to be raising the price for both editions in all those places. United States seems to be the only place that's not getting an increase. And by PlayStation Blog, quote, the global economic environment is a challenge that many of you around the world are no doubt experiencing. We're seeing high global inflation rates as well as adverse currency trends impacting consumers and creating pressure on many industries. End quote. And then it talks about the price increases. So Europe, it's going to be $549.99 euros instead of $4.99. So 50 difference. It's 50 difference for both versions there. UK, it's gonna be $479 to $449, and then so yeah, like yeah, even Japan like is getting an increase. It's crazy. Japan is always late to the trend of buying PlayStation things now, and you're gonna make them more late. They're still gonna use your PS4, and you're not gonna see as many developed PS5 games from Japan. And so, yeah, 54 980 yen, and it used to be 49,980. So, with Japan, you can, I mean, the yen's fluctuating right now, but that's about like $500 versus 550 for that,
Yeah,
for the regular.
like it looks like it's a $50 difference.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere. That's what it looks like. It's approximately a $50 increase.
You know, the and I was telling you about this. The biggest problem is they're saying, "Oh, it's inflation, right?" But then Nintendo and Microsoft said, "Nope, we're not changing our prices
Yep.
at all." And so, to me, that's not inflation. We unfortunately are living in a world where everything's gone up. Food has gone up. Gas varies. I have a hard time with them making this for a console that you can't walk into a store and go buy.
Yeah.
You know, they were upset at scalpers selling them for hundreds of dollars more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or anyone selling it for a profit. Well, now they're selling it for $50 more everywhere. So, I mean, it sucks. It sucks because I don't think they're going to sell as many consoles going up. I mean, it's $50, but I still don't think it's a good move on their part.
Well, also, like, I'm looking at the Mexico ones with like the peso and all that, and like you can see it's like 12,000. Wait, or I guess for the Blu-ray one, it went up to 14,999. And so, which just looks crazy when you look at it like that for a PlayStation. But that roughly estimates to $744.69 for the US dollar. honestly, at that point, if you really want a PlayStation, you live in Mexico, probably you should drive down the border and go pick up a PlayStation, or drive up the border, and do that because that's a little
And
that's a little much.
I feel like on, especially on eBay, the prices have gone down. They're no longer selling them for $1,200 a spot.
Yeah,
So, you know, at that point, you might as well just try and get one on eBay. But I guess we're seeing all these price increases everywhere else, and then they're just like, we can cash in and make another $50 off of it.
mm-hmm.
But I guess I just was like, when I saw this, I was like, what? It is what it is. Unfortunately, it sucks if you live in any of those countries, having to pay more for a console that you can't just go to the store and buy. That sucks.
Yeah, I'm looking here. Like, I don't know though. Like the is this right? I'm calculating the United States dollar versus the Canadian dollar, and the Canadian one is a little it's a little bit cheaper than the United States one. Like it's about the same as our current one. So I don't know. I don't know how stuff, but also like you have to take into the account of how much do people make over there and like all that kind of stuff. So like yeah, I don't understand the pricing, and yeah, like you said, it does suck for people, but it's an unfortunate thing. Hopefully, Sony eventually kind of fixes it and makes it worth your while. Because right now, honestly, the PlayStation 5 is pretty cool. The Xbox is probably the way to go, honestly. Unless you really want those PlayStation exclusives that will show up on PC eventually. Um, you might just want to go Xbox this generation. And this is someone who really likes their PlayStation, but really likes their new Xbox Series X a lot. Like I
Right.
like my Xbox a lot. I didn't think that I'd still have Game Pass at this point. I've been paying for Game Pass for a few months now, and it's awesome. It's awesome to just find games and just download them. It's awesome that my old games just work on there and they look better. Um, yeah, overall, yeah, if I don't, yeah, Xbox, like you said earlier, like Microsoft and Nintendo responded, and they're like, yeah, we're not increasing the prices at all. So, um, I'm curious to see what Sony is going to do eventually,
I mean,
with this kind of
you're
stuff.
also talking about this Switch that is not as powerful as these other two consoles,
Yeah.
still like holding their own, you know, and it's still to get Switch lights or anything really,
Mm-hmm.
it's still difficult to be able to try and get some of those.
Yeah, until the Steam Deck is officially in everyone's hands, I don't think the Switch will disappear or will go down anytime soon in the mobile market.
No, no. But I think it's funny that they're competing with these bigger systems, and yet, yeah, I don't think this is wise on Microsoft, not Microsoft, but like Sony's world.
Mm-hmm.
But they're doing it anyway.
Yep. Um, Speaking of more Sony news, we're gonna talk about this, which with all these Best Buy uh, things here, talking about Microsoft Surfaces. Sony forms PlayStation Studios mobile division to create games based on new and existing IP. Ryan Dinsdale wrote this at IGN. With a AAA action game already in development. Ooh. So recently, last week or earlier this week, I guess it'd actually be last week. PlayStation acquired a new studio. They acquired Savage Game Studios to develop a AAA mobile live service action game. They also, the new division will develop innovative on the go experiences based on new and existing PlayStation IP that meet PlayStation Studios' high quality standards and will operate independently from console game development. Let's see. Herman Hulst said, who's the head of PlayStation Studios, um, this acquisition reaffirms Sony Interactive Entertainment's commitment to delivering innovative experiences to new players around the world by expanding to additional platforms. Um, they have been expanding recently with other things, such as PC, how we alluded to earlier. They have Spider-Man and Miles Morales is also going to pop up on Steam and other places here soon. We already have God of War on there.
Yep.
Is Uncharted 4 on there? I think that was the first one, right?
On Steam?
Maybe. Oh, maybe not. I thought Uncharted was coming to PC at some point.
At some point, they announced.
Okay.
I thought it was gonna be on there, which, man, releasing those on PC, and which has been a only Sony product, I think would do wonders for them. Even though they're older games, do a compilation where you have all of them together.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, it's on PC. I think. Well, Uncharted come out to PC. It's coming out this fall. According to the page, it's coming out October 19th, according to this. So, and that's the Legacy of Thieves collection.
That is a good upscaled version of those games.
Yeah.
So, which I would anybody that's never played them, I would recommend to play them.
Yeah.
I've got my copy back there. I have a digital, but that was actually signed by Nolan North.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is a bad purchase for them. I'm still waiting for them to buy Square Enix, and I mean, man, I'm telling you, it's going to go down only because they're selling off some of their IPs already again. So,
I mean, I already told you this earlier, because we talked about it. Sony doesn't care about their Japanese market because they canceled a lot of their studios and stuff. And so, unless they want to just have Square Enix as their Japanese market, I'm scared for Square Enix at that point because then they might start shutting stuff down and closing it, because where's our Gravity Rush 3? We're getting a Gravity Rush movie supposedly, but yeah, where's Gravity Rush 3? Where's whatever that one game was that I liked? And there's a lot of different games and stuff that were PlayStation owned, and then the studios just disappeared.
Yeah, I think if they bought Square Enix, though, it would just be have exclusive games. So Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy would be exclusively on Sony products only. So
here's the thing. I was thinking. So this is kind of off topic, but still kind of on topic, I guess, for a bit. Because Kingdom Hearts, for example, except Final Fantasy 7, whatever, that's PC and PlayStation only still. It's not on Xbox at all, which is strange at this point. They don't even have the regular version. I don't get that, especially because it was a timed exclusive. So I don't know when that time ends. At that point, why even put it there?
Right.
Especially if it's gonna be on PC already. But anyway, yeah, Kingdom Hearts and stuff is all on Xbox and all that stuff now too. It's on Switch technically as well. It's not, but I was thinking recently. I was like, I'm gonna play. I need to buy Kingdom Hearts 3 for my PlayStation or for my Xbox Series X, because I've always been told by multiple people and multiple things that the Xbox is honestly more powerful than the PlayStation. And the only thing the PlayStation has going for it, again, are exclusives. So you should really buy your third parties on your Xbox when possible. I want to see how well Kingdom Hearts looks and plays and feels. Yes, it's going to be a different controller, but I want to see how much better it is on the Xbox because I'm just
Yeah,
interested to see how that would go.
and I know I have an Xbox Series X. I still have an Xbox One,
Mhm.
which only gets used to watch movies. Um, but I've heard that as well. Um, if it's not an exclusive game on a console, buy it on Xbox.
Or just wait
Um,
for Game Pass, because all the Kingdom Hearts games for a while, except three, were on Game Pass for the longest time.
yeah, I mean, I I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's been a big battle between the two companies of like who's buying what next.
Hmm.
You know, um, and they're both ramping up for something.
Yeah.
You know, because they're worried about being able to get Call of Duty games anymore. You know,
Hmm.
Sony is, and but I don't know. Microsoft likes money. There'd be no way where that game would only be on one system. You know, it's gotta come out on both systems and PC because that's where they make their money.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I
but
mean, just
yeah,
look at Minecraft. Like, Minecraft is still
yeah.
technically out on everything except PS5, I guess. It hasn't been released on PS5, but.
There, I mean, you can upgrade it. Like I know that we have it on our PS5,
Mhm.
but it would play as a PS4 game, not
Okay.
as a PS5. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like every month we're hearing about a new company that somebody bought.
Hmm.
So
Yep. Um. So anyway, yeah, it's just interesting to see that they're going to be doing stuff, um, mobile market wise, and it makes you think what AAA action game they're already thinking about for mobile. Um, game game outlets and like other things I've heard mention Sackboy, because that would be a good action game, easy one to do for mobile. Um,
oh yeah,
you could do, I don't know, like I don't think God of War would do well. I don't think Spider Man would really go mobile because like they own, I don't know. They have the IP for certain things, but I don't think they would try to use the IP for that. Um, maybe like, remember like those older like PSP games like Secret Agent Clank or like the Daxter game.
yes,
Like you could do something like that where it's a little less like it's still an action game or it's still like a 3D type game, but it's is less involved than an actual heavy game that's on a console. Um,
yeah, and I feel for the mobile market. Like I don't play anything on my phone. I have a couple on my tablet. Uh, games I've had for years.
mhm.
Uh, but like I don't play in that market. So it's got to be something that's able to be pick up and play. I think if
Yeah.
they did something Sackboy, that would be perfect.
Yep.
Just like something small like Sackboy Runner or something that's like basic.
I mean, they did
I
have. Do you remember Temple Run, that old iPhone game?
oh my gosh, yes,
There was an
I do.
Uncharted one.
I remember. I think I downloaded it at one point.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I mean, they could
yeah,
do something like that, just an endless runner. I think there was a Tomb Raider one at one point too.
yeah.
Um,
Tomb Raider Go was it?
oh yeah, there was that too. But yeah, like Hitman Go, Tomb Raider Go, all that kind of stuff a while back. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see what will happen. I also don't really know what mobile games mean anymore because things like Genshin Impact, and Hokkaido Impact, and or Honkai Impact, I guess maybe not Hokkaido. Hokkaido's a real place. And like the Nino Kuni game that I dropped because I guess it's very microtransaction-y and NFT based,
It
in
very much
crypto.
is. I stopped playing it.
Yeah, crypto. Um, like those games are mobile games, but they're also not. Like they're very like they are console type games. Honestly, it's just that if you had the controller, then it'd probably be a little better. Um, so I don't know what mobile means. When I think of mobile, I still think of like I don't know, puzzle games. I think of Professor Layton.
Right.
I think of I don't know, just certain little puzzle games or endless runner things where you tap. The Mario game. Um, I still think of that kind of stuff, but like mobile games have gone a long way. I mean, there's so many different kinds. So I mean, who knows?
Absolutely.
Maybe they could do God of War mobile, and it is like it plays with you holding it like this, and like or put a controller down, and you
Yep.
actually do that. I don't know how well it will look, but if they give it like a certain like design or cell shadedness or something that looks timeless, then I think it'd be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So it should be interesting to see what they're going to do with it, um, and what they come out with.
Yeah, for sure. Last thing we got here was some leaks from a while back. Um, from someone talking about this YouTube video. So and then Jason Schreier basically confirmed like parts of this leak are true. So this is about Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed uh, game that's coming out here soon. It'll be called Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's gonna be released in spring 2023, between April and June. The game will take place between 860 and 870 Baghdad, uh, during the anarchy in Samara. You play as Basim in his youth as a thief until he arrived at the Hidden Ones. And this has multiple cities to explore, but supposedly someone else said it's just one city. They also said this returns to basics. So a lot of RPG elements are going to be removed. No more dialogue choices. No gender choice since there is just a fixed character. No level system, so it's no longer like Odyssey or Valhalla or stuff like that. Um, their gameplay um, would be slightly different from Valhalla, but just not have again the RPG elements. Um, they talk about like Eagle Vision should be back. You'll have a string dagger. Um, yeah, and then Ubisoft supposedly is also secretly preparing a remake of Assassin's Creed 1 based on this engine or like this work here. So they're going to reuse a lot of stuff from each other, it sounds, because they're both being developed at the same time. And Assassin's Creed remake should be integrated into the season pass, which should include Constantinople, and then it should be released a few months later. Um, yeah, they say that this all is going to be available on September 10th. So we'll see because the Ubisoft Forward is going to be happening at that time. So we'll see when all that happens. To go with Jason Schreier though, said a person familiar um, tells me parts of this new Assassin's Creed leak are true, such as the name and the other stuff. Bloomberg has already reported spring 2023, Baghdad, back to Assassin's Creed basics. And the other parts are not true. So, like the multiple cities. So, it is probably more back to basics as it is just one place, especially if it is going to be more focused. Now, we talked about this earlier before the show, that you have played most of the Assassin's Creeds. You always buy them, regardless if you enjoy them or not. You've been burned by them before, but something going back to basics and being a smaller scope again without all of the RPG elements that people might like and might bring all these newer people to it. But like that's not what the main core audience necessarily wanted. They want their action game that tells story and then you can just do they want their 360 game back essentially. It's like when I talk about like my RPGs that I really like. I want my PS2 RPGs back. That are just smaller and less of a scope than Persona 5 because Persona 5 is too massive and it's annoying. Um, so like yeah, what do you think about this
I
rumor
mean,
stuff?
I'm going to be the guy that people don't like as well. I have never liked an Assassin's Creed game ever. And I've always thought that they come out with these games every year and there's always problems. Always.
Until recently,
Yeah.
they
Always.
were doing every other year now.
You know, I feel like them taking this time off and not releasing one has been good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they should go back. They need to explore what people want. People want an action-oriented game
Mm-hmm.
without really bad glitches, like where you can see through their faces. Uh, you know, but they just want like a basic game. That they can have fun. They can hide and jump off of roofs into haystacks. That's what they want. You know, so it would be interesting. I would revisit this if they did all that. But sometimes you get like, what was it? um, the one that takes place in Rome, I think. Uh, I tried playing it and it was so open and so many things to remember. It was not fun for me. I dropped it. It was the one that came out before
Is that
the.
Odyssey?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait.
Wait, no.
Yes.
I thought that was Egypt.
There was
Origins.
Origins. Yes.
Okay.
But like, I just thought it was too much. So
Yeah.
maybe this is a good thing that they were going to go back
Mm-hmm.
and do it in a smaller scope.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it when people. It's kind of like a while back when game companies and stuff were like, people want multiplayer games, so every game was multiplayer.
Yes.
And then because of the success of other games that are like The Witcher 3 or stuff like that, um, then people are like, oh, people want these big open world RPGs. Well, we already have an established fan base with Assassin's Creed. Let's just ruin that game for people and see what sticks. Metal Gear Solid 5, like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like that's what happened with that. Like it's completely different game, and some people loved it because of that, and newer people loved it because of that, and a lot of the older people didn't because it wasn't the game that they grew up with. It wasn't the game at all. So
yeah, and I feel like with them taking the time off and not releasing a game right away like they usually did, maybe it's been good. And they're like, look, we know we're going to do this. You're right. I remember we're like, oh, everything has to be open world and multiplayer.
Yeah.
They tried doing that with Mass Effect 3. They had multiplayer, and it's a game that didn't need multiplayer at all. It is a standalone game that is fun by itself. You don't need to add multiplayer to it. I never even played the multiplayer, but I heard it was awful.
I mean, it's like Uncharted or like other Naughty Dog games. Like they always had multiplayer until like the latest ones.
Yeah. Yeah, and the only time that I feel like it's been fun with multiplayer is like Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Was fun for multiplayer. And you're not playing as John Marston, you're playing legitimately as other characters you can make your own.
Yeah.
Like a shootout. That's all it really is.
Yeah, games like that work really well because that's how the game was designed. Exactly. Whereas like taking an old existing IP and then just, I don't know, putting it in the microwave and just seeing what happens to it, like that's what these are.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It sounds like what might be happening because there's still the other Assassin's Creed game that's happening eventually. Infinity, I think it's what it's called. That got leaked a while back. Supposedly that is a games as a service game. So if we're gonna have Infinity, which is doing the RPG stuff, and then have these that cater towards the more faithful, like I guess not faithful is the word. The more original fans, I guess I don't know. Like they like the original stuff more. So like those people will have something to buy too. So yeah, I'm curious what's gonna happen. Again, these are all rumors. Next week, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks from wait, next week, next Saturday is Ubisoft Forward. I don't even know if the Ubisoft Forward got announced yet. But this talked about Ubisoft Forwards happening. on that day. And then next week is Tokyo. If it's either next week or the week after is TGS as well. I don't think we'll necessarily see Assassin's Creed things, but be on the lookout for other things such as like a Nintendo Direct or something. So like this is again the new season of release or announcements before holiday.
I will tell you, I think you will see a Nintendo, you'll see a Sony, and you'll probably see an Xbox next month. Because if you look at it, none of these companies have like any majorly huge games coming out.
I agree.
So,
All right, when
uh,
was
and like if we look at Gamescom, it was a blow up of a huge amount of things. So I'm hoping that Tokyo Game Show will be the same, where you're like, oh my gosh, there's all these things I didn't know that were coming out, and then now there's trailers.
yeah
If you'd have told me that they were going to do a Killer Clowns from Outer Space video game, I would have laughed at you.
here
And
we are.
here we are. It's coming out. It's crazy. And I think there was that. There was the one where you play as a Pinocchio like character.
Yeah.
Like all these games that came out, and I had no idea. So yeah, I'm anxious to see what there is, but I guarantee there's going to be a treehouse. There'll be a Nintendo Direct. There'll probably be both other companies will do something, because there really isn't anything coming out.
The only thing I can think of that's coming out soon is Splatoon 3. That's it, either next week or the week after. And supposedly people really like that game. They had their Splat test or whatever thing over on Saturday where it was just for free and you could just play Splatoon 3 that whole day. And yeah, supposedly it's pretty good. So I wonder how long they're gonna support it, because the last game I feel like they didn't. Like the servers are still up and stuff, but like the events and stuff I feel like weren't supported super long.
Well, that's Nintendo's MO.
Yeah.
We got this great product, we're going to support it, and then not. So it should be interesting to see. And I will tell you, like, Splatoon has such a cult following.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'd be anxious to see some of these things come out and what's being said, to be honest. So it should be interesting in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking here now at Tokyo Game Show stuff just to see who is confirmed, who's not confirmed for booths and all that. It's interesting because like there's a lot of different companies here. Oh, they're not in order. That's why I can't find them. They're not in alphabetical order, but I mean, I guess that makes sense because it's probably translating it or something. It's in English and everything, but they probably in Japanese it probably makes more sense to be in this order by characters.
Probably.
But I'm trying to look for. There they are, Bandai Namco. All right, I'm going to will it into the world that we're getting that Dot Hack remake that we need. We're not gonna get it, but I'm gonna will it. It's gonna happen.
I think Bandai Namco is gonna show some.
They're gonna show Sword Art Online because that's all they care about now. Because hey kids, you like Sword Art Online? Well, here's more Sword Art Online.
They did not do Dragon Ball Fighters, right?
No, they might have published it, but that was the last Bandai Namco game that I know happened. Was anime wise was Kakarot, I believe.
I think
or Demon Slayer.
I think they'll show some Dragon Ball Fighters.
Some new Dragon Ball, yeah. Dragon Ball Kakarot too.
A golden version, which is like all the DLC. It'd be a PS5. So that's my guess.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have no idea.
Who knows? Who knows indeed. Anyway, this has been our podcast. Get at Gaming Plus. You can find us again almost anywhere. Um, you can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/GetAgaming. You can find us on podcast services if you just look up Get Gaming. Again, we are on iHeartRadio now. So if you are new and this is your first time listening, hello, welcome. We post on Wednesdays the audio, and then we try to do stuff on Fridays for the video. Um, but yeah, they come up in the mornings. So if you like what you hear, like what you see, consider following, subscribing, doing all that stuff. Um, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Do you have anything else to say, Ben?
Get at it.
Get at it.